Hello everyone, I almost forgot to do my video thing today. I'm Nate. I had patellar tendon repair on the 12th, and today is Wednesday, so I had the surgery last Thursday. So I think we'd call this day 7 post-op. Might have my numbers mixed up, but in the future it won't really matter. A day here or there doesn't matter. Um, so the only news right now is I have not taken a Vicodin since Monday night. Today is Wednesday. Last night I took a Tylenol and I had half a Vicodin sitting there uh, if I needed it, but I didn't. And yeah, the pain is acceptable. Doesn't feel great. The more I'm up and doing things, the more it starts to throb, but that's just a signal to get up and or get back in bed. And again, I had patellar tendon repair surgery, so um, it's a pretty big deal. Been going to the gym pretty consistently, just doing upper body and doing one exercise with my good leg, just the knee extension machine. I couldn't, or I can't seem to do the leg curl machine. Um, I tore both my hamstrings a while back when I was trying to rehab this injury. I was pretty aggressively working my legs, trying to get stronger again, even though the knee was really hurting. And ended up pulling my hamstrings doing leg curl. And so I really haven't been able to do leg curl in a while. Interestingly, we discovered that I had severely low testosterone. Um, I don't know, probably like in April, but it's probably been going on a long time. I don't think it's related to the injury, but I've had a spate of other injuries since the patellar tendon tear, and that seemed to be potentially related to low testosterone. So I got sent to a urologist about a little under 3 weeks ago. Put me on a drug called Clomid. I think I mentioned this in an earlier video. And Clomid can theoretically increase your testosterone. Might work, might not. But I think it takes a few months. So 3 weeks is not enough time. And I haven't noticed anything. Then again, I just had surgery. Yeah, not really. Don't have a lot to say other than the knee is not hurting if I'm at rest, and that's really good. It's not throbbing much. Keeping my foot on a pillow. Let's show you so you can see. Can you see the pillow? Yeah. So my leg is a little bit elevated, which also, here I'm back, which also I think helps to get my knee a teeny bit straighter, because my knee tends to want to be slightly bent. So at least when I'm standing, because standing is more comfortable. But I don't sleep with this pillow under my feet. It tends to bother me and keeps me from being able to sleep, because I have a pretty long-standing, chronic, severe waking insomnia. So I have trouble sleeping through the night. Yeah, for a long time, 20 years. which we think might be related to anxiety. And I'm on Zoloft and Seroquel for that. And I believe they really helped. I think the Zoloft most of all. But now I can't get off of the Seroquel because if I don't take it, I can't sleep at all. So, oh well. Gotta sleep. Gotta sleep to heal. Other than that, I've been eating Jello every day. I heard Jello is good for healing tendons, and try to eat, a fair amount of protein in the day. So I have a few eggs for breakfast, maybe 3, and then I have. I'm not very good about lunch. I just had some nut butter and some celery. I wasn't terribly hungry, but maybe I'll make a protein shaker bottle here in a minute. And for dinner, just usually some sort of animal protein and some vegetables, and maybe, tonight we have, my wife made a wonderful chicken soup, which, as you know, cures everything. So, I'll be back running tomorrow. Just kidding. But no, it's really, really good. And let's see. So normally I try to eat a fair amount of animal protein at dinner, not too much, but enough to feel satiated, and some vegetables. About a couple years ago, I slowly got off. I've been off of gluten for 20 years, but over the last couple of years, I've gotten off of all grains slowly but surely. Very rarely I'll have white rice. Read that brown rice can actually upset your gut. And I've tried to get off of nuts, but it's kind of been difficult because nuts are one of my protein calorie sources, and it seems to agree with me okay. But I think grains are a problem for me. Not recommending this for anyone else. I have even looked into the carnivore diet, but A, it's ridiculously expensive, and B, it's I like eating salad, and I like some other things, and I think it would be too limiting and very difficult to stick with. Let's see. My follow-up appointment or post-op appointment for the surgery is in 6 days. And I think this weekend, maybe on Friday, I will attempt to get into the driver's seat of the car and see how that goes. And see if I can get in. I don't know if it's going to be possible. And if I can get in, then I will attempt to drive around the block or just drive out of the garage and back. Something like that. Nothing too, nothing long to begin with, just see how it goes. But I want to be off of Vicodin. I want to make sure I'm off of Vicodin 100% before I try to drive. So I haven't taken it in over 24 hours. Theoretically, my doctor said you could drive, but I'm not feeling up to trying to get into the driver's seat. The passenger seat is much easier to get into because I can stand on my good leg and use my rope that you saw to lift my left leg and place it into the footwell. And then I can slowly shimmy my left foot kind of to move my leg where I need it to be, and then gently get the rest of the way in. So that's been pretty easy. I think going the other way into the driver's seat well, obviously I cannot lead with my good leg because then, well, what the hell would I do? So what I'll have to do is sit sideways on the seat and then move my hips backwards as far as I can go while still having control, like holding on to my left leg via the rope. And then hopefully that'll work. I don't know if it'll work. I can think about it, but I can't necessarily, without trying it, I won't know if it actually works. And I don't see any other plan that would make sense. So we'll see. Originally, I had thought that the only car I would be able to drive after surgery is the Subaru Impreza, which is my wife's car, and my car is a Corolla. But now that I've sat in the passenger seat, I realize it really doesn't matter which car I get in. It just is whichever one I choose. It's going to be hard either way. It doesn't really matter which one. Might be slightly easier in the Corolla just because it does sit a teeny bit higher than the Impreza. My friend, I've been getting rides to the gym from him, and he has a Crosstrek, which is exactly the same as the Impreza. Absolutely no different other than it's taller, which actually makes it a little harder to get into in one way and easier in another than the Impreza. But in the end, I think all the cars are pretty much the same. I'd like to be able to drive to my post-op appointment, but my wife has offered to drive, and yeah, we'll just have to play it by ear. That's a few days away. But yeah, I'd like to start having some freedom and possibly go to work or something briefly and see how that goes. Just testing the waters. What else is on my mind? When you have a surgery like this, even before the surgery, I think there's a lot of, well, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, a severe version of it, and maybe it's me, maybe it's everyone, that I think you try to plan for every eventuality, but in reality it's nothing like that, or it is like that, but it's in real life it's completely different. So some things have gone better than expected, and some things have gone worse. It is very hard to lift my leg with my arm, not physically, but for some reason my quadricep wants to fire, and it can create some severe pain. The pain most often is at the top of the patella, kind of middle and lateral top of the patella, which makes me think it's the suture connection at the top of the patella that I'm feeling, maybe a knot at the top of the patella pulling like into the periosteum of the, I don't know, I'm just guessing. However, it makes me feel like at least the pressure is there and not at the tendon bone junction as much as I do feel it there occasionally, but mostly I feel it at the top of the patella when I'm trying to lift my leg, probably because of the way the vector forces are aligned. The quadricep is pulling directly tangentially, or not tangentially, directly parallel to the top of the patella. So if my knee had more bend, it would obviously put pressure on the tendon bone junction of the repair, which is the most important part. Well, I'm sure I could talk more random stuff, but I will leave it at this. I'm sure this is the most boring video diary ever done on YouTube. See you next time.